He was trapped. His destination lies just beyond the wall. Made of glass, it towered over him. It frustrated him how he could see right through it, and how others could probably see his struggle right now. He could imagine them all laughing at him, teasing him for not being able to get over a simple glass wall. But no matter what, he couldn't do it. What this person is feeling right now is perfectly normal, and I'm sure many of you here have experienced it before. In this day and age filled with constant connectivity, it is so easy to get caught up in crafting the perfect image for the world to see. When scrolling through social media platforms like Instagram or Twitter, it's like everyone is putting on a show, choosing the best pictures and crafting up the coolest captions, just so everyone thinks that we're cool and likable. Guilty. We start comparing ourselves to others, and we start to listen to likes and comments rather than listening to our own feelings, to our own thoughts. And what happens when this external facade begins to overshadow our true essence? We land ourselves in a tricky situation, trying to balance what society wants from us and what we truly want for ourselves. But why though? Why do we compare ourselves to others all the time? Why do we seek acceptance, attention, and validation from others? The answer may seem obvious, but there's a lot more nuance to it than you think. There is a complex web of motivations and behaviors that influence us. First of all, comparison didn't just randomly pop up alongside social media. It's a natural human tendency rooted in our evolutionary past. From an early age, we learn about ourselves and our surroundings by observing ourselves and observing others, by comparing ourselves to others. This is a way to seek guidance, to understand social norms. Paul Gilbert, a fellow of the British Psychological Society, referred to comparison with the following quote: "It is phylogenetically very old. Scholars have long realized the importance of social comparison for human adaptation and survival." So yes, it makes sense why comparison is natural to us, and it makes sense why we want to compare ourselves to other people. So some of you may be wondering why this is even a bad thing. By seeking validation, are we pushing ourselves to achieve higher standards, to be accepted by society? Well, think of it this way. It's like the famous iceberg analogy. When we compare ourselves to other people, it's been ingrained into us for longer than we think. We do this by achieving good grades, excelling in sports, and conforming to social standards of beauty. But then, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because below the surface, there are countless impacts on mental health that we do not see. First, let's consider the impact on self-esteem. When we focus too much on seeking validation externally, this erodes our sense of self-worth. When our self-esteem is dependent upon the approval of others, we get stuck in a cycle where we are vulnerable to fluctuations in external feedback. I used to care way too much about what other people thought of me, and I let that dictate how I felt. Compliments pushed me to do better, pushed me to achieve better things. But then I started hearing other things. He's weird. He's gay. What a weakling. Just a single negative comment or lack of likes on a social media post can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, let alone the whispers about you behind your back. This leads to a cycle, a never-ending cycle, of seeking validation externally as opposed to cultivating a strong intrinsic sense of self-worth. Additionally, in our journey for validation, we may compromise our authenticity by conforming to societal norms and presenting a false image of ourselves. We become adept at projecting the version of ourselves that we believe will get the most approval, rather than embracing our true identities. The difference between our persona and the persona we present to the real world can lead to feelings of emptiness and disconnection. We may find ourselves living a life that doesn't truly align with what we believe just because we want to fit in somewhere. Now, I've been there myself. Even right now, I'm literally seeking validation from everyone by gauging everyone's reaction. It's natural. but when it started getting too much, I started feeling the negatives myself. Growing up as an only child, I would always seek companionship and acceptance from other people for fear of being isolated. So I would talk to different groups of people, and with each group, I felt like I didn't fit in. So it changed the way I spoke, the way I acted, depending on who I was talking to, just in order to fit in. And afterwards, I would feel exhausted. It's not fun acting out so many different personalities, and it's draining to have to be constantly aware of how you speak, how you act, and how you'll be perceived. But I was desperate, and I just kept doing it, ignoring the impacts that I would soon see. I just wanted friends, but I became anxious about every word spoken about me, and accepting criticism has never been so difficult. Okay, so this talk is supposed to be themed around finding balance, but I've been talking about an awful lot of negative things. So I'm going to shift to a more positive side of things. How do we, in a world where we as human beings need to stay connected, need to be social, still find that balance and gain acceptance, while still staying true to ourselves? I'm going to give you a few steps that worked out for me. First, you need to establish your roots, who you are. Basically cultivating self-awareness, reminding ourselves of our strengths, beliefs, values, and weaknesses provides us with a compass in our life. And this compass will guide us through the activities that we do, and will tell us when something aligns with our values, and we'll be comfortable engaging, or something doesn't align with our values, and we'll be uncomfortable engaging. And we have to change the way we think or feel before we engage, which we want to avoid. Secondly, another way is to establish clear boundaries. Establishing clear boundaries is very difficult to do because it involves a very difficult two-letter word, no. Saying no is very difficult and makes remaining authentic difficult to do as well. But remember, saying no to activities, relationships, or situations that make you feel uncomfortable are essential for living your own lives. Setting boundaries doesn't always have to involve saying the word no. It can be choosing to ignore negative comments or negative taunts from people. Not giving the people who put me down what they wanted, attention, really helped me stand my ground. We should not have to play pretend and lose who we are just because we want to fit in somewhere. However, when considering who we truly are, it's not just about our strengths, our personality, our values. It is also our flaws. Because our flaws make up a large part of who we are. Embracing our flaws allows us to live a happier and healthier life because we will stop looking down on ourselves. Before society can accept who you are, you need to accept who you are first. Just like how you can't take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself first. Thus, seeing our vulnerabilities as a strength as opposed to a weakness pushes us to strike that balance between seeking acceptance while still remaining our authentic selves. Now I know this sounds really difficult, and rushing to do all of them may not work. Which is why one more thing I want to tell you all is to give yourself time. I would always seek validation. I was desperate, and I was willing to do anything to be accepted into a friend group. I wanted that perfect high school social life that I later found out only existed in TV shows. And I felt that that dream would never come true. But even in just 1 year, my mindset naturally changed. I realized, through all the chaos in life, how important it was to take care of myself and to love myself more. And so I did that. After taking some time for myself and hanging out with myself alone sometimes. Looking back, that felt really great. And after that, I was able to overcome that seemingly impenetrable barrier in my mind. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this talk, is to be patient with yourself. Well, maybe I want you to take away two things. Because speaking of barriers, I believe the person from the beginning of my talk has made some progress. He stopped panicking. Upon looking at the wall again, he realized, what if this wasn't a wall made of glass, but it was a mirror? For the first time, he saw the barrier in front of him, not as a wall made of glass, but as a mirror. He saw his own reflection, and he understood. He was his own obstacle all along. And then the barrier dissipated. He stepped foot into his destination and closed his eyes. He breathed a huge sigh of relief. Free from prying, judging eyes, he smiled. Yes, till this day, I am not in a friend group. I feel as though I don't fit in. I don't fit into the stereotypes surrounding me. I don't fit into the social circles around me. But that doesn't mean I don't have friends, family. That doesn't mean that I cannot be who I truly am. And I can say that I'm proud that the words that led to the glass walls inside my head are nothing but wisps of air to me now. And I'm happy to say that I don't need those glass walls anymore. Life is more than the universe in the device in your hands, more than the snickers or judgment of people who don't accept you for you. There is so much more to life than what others think of you. Only if you understand that can you truly experience what this life has to offer. Live your life with others, not for others. Live for yourself. So find yourself and find your balance. Thank you.